Hi guys. Oh, I should say good motherfucking morning, bitch. I can't do it. I can't pull it off. Anyway, as you guys can see from the title of the video, today we're going to be testing out the new Bretman Rock X Wet n Wild collab. Came out last Friday, I believe, on Ulta. I picked these up at Ulta myself. I saw the palette, especially the packaging, and fell in love, so I thought I would try out some of the items. So if you're interested in seeing the palette swatched and an eye look as well as the highlighter, please keep on watching. So Bretman Rock is a social media influencer, beauty influencer. He has 13 million, 10 million followers on Instagram. I follow him mainly on Instagram, not so much on YouTube, but I think he's hilarious and he has pretty interesting content. So when I saw that he had this collab with Wet n Wild and how absolutely beautiful the packaging was, it piqued my interest. And then when the palette was released at Ulta, here you can see all the beautiful colors. It's very colorful. These greens here, oh, look so good. I haven't swatched it. I haven't seen any swatches or looked at any videos to see how it's been performing. So this is essentially going to be a first impression for you and me. So I picked up the palette as well as the highlighter, loose highlighter duo, which is interesting because generally I do not like loose highlighters. In the past, I've tried them. It's just not my thing. I always just gravitate towards pressed highlighters, but the colors looked really beautiful and I wanted to try them out. And I really don't need any more brushes. I really don't. But the packaging was just so cute. And then I got the highlighter brush because I got the highlighter. See if they work well together. It really doesn't matter. I'm sure I have highlighter brushes like this in my collection, but it was so pretty. And as you know, Wet n Wild is a very affordable brand. The palette was $14.99. The highlighter duo was $7.99, and the highlighting brush, as well as all the other brushes, were $6.99. So those are the items I picked up, and I want to test it out today. So I'll start off with Coconut Connoisseur Anaconda Deeper. Coconut Connoisseur Anaconda Deeper. So Anaconda is a matte that doesn't seem to be. It's pretty light, and I'm not the world's best swatcher, but you can see it a little bit. It's a mint green matte. Next we have Prowl, Venomous, and my favorite one, Big Peacock Energy. So here's Prowl, Venomous, and Big Peacock Energy. Oh, just as good as I thought it was going to be. I must have that on my eyes. Liar and Cheetah, Flamingo, and Feline Myself. Some of the mattes feel creamier than others, but I'll be honest with you, I'm not the biggest proponent of swatches because, for example, a matte, when you swatch it like this, that's really not how you're going to wear it on your eye. You're going to blend it out on a brush, so it will more likely look more like this, and you'll have to build it up to look like this. So swatches are not always the best way to tell you how a shadow will work. For example, this matte green that doesn't swatch the best is most likely you're going to blend it up with a big fluffy brush, so it's going to give you a wash of color and you have to build it up. So I'm not too worried about how that looks right now. And then we go on to Don't Be Lying, Pounce on 'em, and Toucan, as in the bird toucan, Play That Game. Oh, that red is beautiful. Okay, and the last three are King of the Jungle, Ape Shit, and Alpha, which is a black matte and it has little sparkles in it. That's a nice gold. Good brown. That's a good black. Okay, and then we'll swatch the highlighters. Has a little protective cap. Okay, so for the highlighters, the gold one is called Lioness. Whew. And the bronzy one is called Tigress. Okay, so before I start the eye look, I'm going to use this little Wet n Wild set that I got at Burlington for $5.99. So it comes with a matte setting spray, a photo focus matte primer, and the eyeshadow primer. So I'm going to use the eyeshadow primer. I also use the Wet n Wild. I use a bunch of Wet n Wild things on my face. I use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in Toffee. This is actually one of my favorite drugstore foundations, but I've had this for so long, I really need to declutter this. And I'm dying to try the dewy version. I also have the Rose Primer Water on my face, as well as the Photo Focus Matte Primer that I just showed you in that set. I'm just gonna tap this onto my lid. It doesn't have any color to it, which I prefer color to my primers, but we'll see if the pigment of the shadows stick to it really well so that my dark circles don't come through. So I'm going to start with feeling myself on a pretty tiny brush, and I'm going to put that in my crease, on the inner portion of my crease. Wow, that's nice. Go Wet n Wild. And I'm going to take another small brush and we're going to go in with Two Can Play That Game, also in my crease on the outside. We're doing less of a buffing and more of a placing motion, because I want the colors to stay pretty vibrant. So now with a tiny brush, we're going to go into Flamingo. And I clean that brush off, and now I'm going to go in with Pounce on them to blend out the red. If you want to deepen that up because you've lost some of the red, you can go back in with that red and deepen it up. Then blend that out again. Okay, now I'm going to take a big clean fluffy brush and blend everything out. Now it pretty much looks like my crease is already cut. I'm going to go ahead and clean that up and cut the crease, and I'll be right back. Okay, and here we are with the crease cut. Looks a little extreme, I know. So now we're going to go with the lid colors. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the green on the first half and blue on the second half. I'm going to see how it goes on without being wet first, and then we'll wet it if we need to. This green is stunning. It is so reflective. And for being such an affordable brand, I'm really shocked. Okay, the blue is not as sparkly. I'm probably going to have to wet this one. It's not horrible. Just when you compare it to that green, it needs a little help. So I'm gonna spray it. Let's see. That's a little better, but it honestly didn't do that much. Right in the middle where the blue and green mix, they make such a beautiful color. Let me dust away a little bit of the fallout. Okay, for the lower lash line, I'm gonna put Anaconda on the inner corner of the lower lash line and Venomous on the outer corner of the lower lash line. Well, not seeing much for Anaconda. That's much better. Anaconda might just be a blending shadow. Okay, so here's where we are so far. Very colorful. I'm going to do liner and lashes and I'll be right back. Okay, and here we're back with liner and lashes. So I used the unscripted legendary lashes that I got in my boxy pop-up. I love these lashes. They are so dramatic and fluffy and beautiful. They're just like lily lashes. And I got them for $7. And in my waterline, I'm using my LA Girl Shockwave Neon Liner in Fresh. This mint green. Alright, so let's finish up the eyes. For my inner corner, I'm going to go in with King of the Jungle. This beautiful gold. I love the tone of that gold. It is beautiful. Then for my brow bone, same brush, I'm going to go in with Prowl, the lighter gold. Okay, and here we are with the eye look. Very dramatic, but I had to go dramatic with this palette. Just had to. Anyway, so now let's try the highlighter, the loose highlighter. As I mentioned before, I'm usually not a loose highlighter fan. So we're going to use the highlighting brush. And I'm going to use the bronze on one side and the gold on the other side. Then, of course, before I leave the house, I'll fix that. So I knocked it out. Now I'm going to take some off the little lid. Maybe I need more than that. Oh, there's a lot of glitter everywhere. Okay, I'm definitely going to have to wet this. Wet the brush. I don't know, guys. It just looks like a lot of glitter everywhere. Okay, it's really dramatic once you wet it and it sticks on. But I guess loose highlighter is a trial and error. For those of you guys who are good with it, I'm not. It's not usually my thing. But this one seems really glittery. I don't know if you can see it. It's a pretty color though. Alright, let me wipe this off and we can try the gold side. Okay, so I'm going to pick it up off the lid. And then I'm going to spray it. That's what seemed to work last time. And now apply it. Yeah, that definitely is the way to go. See, y'all could have told me that. Y'all know I don't know nothing about loose highlighters. This one is very icy though. Pretty light for my skin tone. This is definitely a see you from space type moment. Okay, so here's the bronze side and the gold side. I prefer the bronze side now that I figured out how to work it. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. My thoughts on the palette are, for the colors that I used, these mattes, these pink and purple mattes performed really, really well. These gold, this green, I absolutely love this green, and this gold over here, my two favorites. My only duds were this Anaconda. It really didn't give up much pigment or any pigment at all. It seems very, very hard in the pan. I can't tell if it's satin, if it's matte. Not my favorite. And then this blue one, it didn't give me as much as a pigment as I like. You can see it's a little bit sheer. It's not as deep as the green. And then after I wet the brush, it kind of gave me a bit of hard pan. So I might have to scrape that off. So I don't know. Those two weren't my favorite. But overall, the other colors, I'm going to play a little bit more with some more of the neutrals another time. It's a pretty good palette. Love the packaging, so pretty, so Bretman. I got a really nice festive toucan look, bird of paradise look to go to Chili's with my mother. And the highlighter. Loose highlighters are not my thing, and this I know, maybe it's just me not really knowing how to use it. I toned it down a little bit, but they tend to be a little harsher than pressed highlighters. But I'll play with it a little more. I really like the color of the bronze one, Tigress. I really love the color of it. The kind of it has a pink bronze duochrome shift. The gold one is a little too icy for me, so I'll try it again. I'll play with it a little bit more and see how I like it. I really love this highlighting brush. It is so pretty. I love the ombre from the pink to the gold. The size of the brush is really nice. Highlighting brush. I have a lot of brushes like these. I like this for highlighting, but I really like this. A nice long handle that I like. It's pretty light, but I think it's really good for $6.99. Those are my thoughts on the Bretman Rock X Wet n Wild parts of the collection that I picked up. So let me know, what do you think? Do you like it? Did you pick it up? Are you going to pick it up? What is your opinion? Did you use the eyeshadow palette? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. So if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.